It's a bitterly cold May morning, but despite the driving rain and wind, the fans in their thousands are still gathering just outside the Council House, waiting to acclaim the new champions of the Football League. They've been here since 8 o'clock this morning, clad in claret and blue. They're young and old, and they've been gradually pouring into this square and making quite a festival occasion of it. You can probably hear the noise away in the background, and my word, some of those people on the front row must be mighty cold indeed, but they're still singing and dancing. They've been dancing around the streets since about 8:30 this morning, and they've been fine voice, waiting to acclaim Aston Villa. We're waiting for Villa to arrive here. They'll be here at the Council House at about 12 noon, and although I'm sure the weather has put off a few fans, there still must be, something approaching 9,000 or 10,000 people waiting for the Villa team here in Victoria Square. So with that, back to Jim Barrow.
Well, of course, we've got our own bunch of supermen here in Birmingham. Aston Villa, over to Paul Franks.
Thanks indeed, Chris. Yes, the last couple of players, in fact, just arrived here at the Sports and Leisure Centre, and it's now around about 11:30. So the open-top bus taking them to the council building should be setting off in around about 2 or 3 minutes. There's plenty of support for Villa here at the Leisure Centre, and indeed it was a bit of a mystery as to where they were actually going from. Even we had trouble finding them, and but one or two supporters obviously spotted the bus on its way to the Leisure Centre, and they've followed them here. Any minute now we're expecting the manager Ron Saunders to lead his team out onto the bus, of course, and no one has got a bigger cheer than Ron Saunders here this morning when he arrived. But as I say, they should be setting off in a couple of minutes, and they're taking the route to the council buildings. They'll be there about 12 o'clock, and we'll be hoping to speak to the players as they get to the council buildings a little bit later on.
Thank you very much to Paul Franks, talking about our bunch of supermen from Birmingham, Aston Villa. Yes, you guessed it, as they move in procession in an open-top bus all the way to the Council House on the route. Six Ways Aston, of course, Newtown Row, Lancaster Circus, St Martin Circus, and the Rotunda, then into New Street, Corporation Street, Bull Street, Colmore Row, right to their champagne and their celebration and the speeches at the Council House for about 12 o'clock, and we'll be there here on 206. And high in the airwaves over the West Midlands to the Villa. Congratulations from Stephen Auden, Grandad of Park, Dale, Tutbury, Burton-on-Trent. To the Villa, wishing you all the best. Well done, lads. John Corns and all the family of 28 Wilkinson Avenue in Braidley. Marge Cooper's phoned us to remind us that 24 years ago today, by the day and tomorrow by the date, Villa were celebrating their win of the Cup final. And apparently Marge remembers it clearly, as she gave birth to her daughter on that day. I wonder if she was appropriately named. Right, if you've got any greetings and congratulations to give to Aston Villa, the best way to do it surely is to phone us here on 206 on Sunday on 472 5141. Look forward to hearing from you.
There has been a slight delay. I know one or two players were late getting here, whether that's following the celebrations last night, I'm not too sure, but I gather they are all now in the reception area, and they should be boarding the bus in just a couple of minutes' time. There's no reason for the delay that we know of, but one can only presume that it's the fact that one or two players arrived late. And Villa, of course, have won 3 more games than Ipswich over the course of the season. Anybody that says that they haven't justly deserved it, well, I think Ron Saunders would deny that totally. So hopefully he'll be back here in just a few minutes, but at the moment the players are gathered in the reception area, and the bus should be leaving in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Thanks very much, Paul Franks there reporting. Of course, I know what's delayed them. They're cleaning the boots, you see.
That's right. But of course, yes, lunchtime there's jazz at the George and Dragon, Stratford Road, Shirley, if you're in that area. Don't forget there's jazz here on Radio Birmingham as well.
Nick St George's favourite record, Roger Whittaker. Was a hit pick of Nick St George's. That's probably why it's not in the charts. A nitpick. I'm the tall dark stranger that you read about in fortune teller's tales. I am the man. Yes, indeed. And I think the man at the moment is Tim Russon. Tim.
Yes, hello Peter, welcome back, and now I'm on the balcony at the Council House looking down on what I should think about 12 to 15,000 Aston Villa supporters, and just below me at the moment there's one young lad being passed around the crowd. Well, I say young lad, he must be 16 or 17, and he's even dyed his hair claret and blue. He's had his hair cut very short indeed, and it's claret and blue stripes, so he's really joining the festivities, and in fact there's one or two down there who've dyed the hair claret and blue, but you can hear now they're really celebrating in front of the Council House, and they must be getting very cold because the front 1,000 or so have been here since 8 o'clock this morning, and the wind's still very biting indeed, the rain driving down, but that hasn't really dampened their ardour, still shouting and singing their heads off, and the claret and blue banner just in front of the Council House, which will greet the Villa team. The glory of the Villa lives on.
Right, that's one reporter, Tim Ruston. We've got another reporter on the scene. That's Paul Franks. Paul.
Thanks indeed, Peter. We're still at the Sports and Leisure Centre. The bus is revving up, so the players hopefully should be on board any moment now. We have one or two Villa supporters gathered around us, and nobody here has dyed their hair claret and blue that I've seen anyway. But if I could just speak to you first, did you go down to the game yesterday?
Yes.
And what did you think?
Not too good.
Have you seen Villa very much this season?
Yes, nearly every match.
And how long have you supported them?
About 5-6 years.
5 or 6 years, so I suppose it's the first real celebration that you've been involved in then?
Yeah.
Are you on your way up to the Council House after this?
No, we're going home.
You're going straight home afterwards? Right, well I hope you see... who's your favourite player, by the way?
Peter Wiz.
Peter Wiz. He scored 21 goals this season. A good bye by Ron Saunders. Thanks very much. Moving along. Another young lady. Did you go down to the game yesterday?
No, couldn't make it.
You couldn't make it?
No.
Did you get to see Villa very much?
Yeah, every old match.
You haven't got a season ticket, have you?
No.
And whereabouts do you stand?
In the old thing.
Not at the back causing trouble, I think.
No, at the front.
You stand down the front?
Yeah.
And who's your favourite player at Villa?
Miss Lane.
Did you think at the beginning of the season that they could win the league?
Not really.
Not really, she says.
No.
Can I just break off there, because the applause you can probably hear is for the Villa players who are now on their way out of the building. If you'd like to go and see the players, Alan Evans is there just boarding the bus, and Evans of course a stalwart in the Villa defence this season. One or two player Kenny Swain I can see going through onto the bus. Swain, what a find he's been at full-back this season for Villa, and there could even be an England call-up for him for the home internationals in the next few weeks. And Peter Wiz there, pats on the back for Peter Wiz, scarves around their shoulders, and they've got rosettes and stickers on, and I'm sure there'll be a few bottles of champagne on the bus itself. And really there's the chant from the supporters, and they're all, I think, going on the top deck of the bus. Peter Wiz is braving the weather, and it really is beginning to come down quite heavily here at the Sports and Leisure Centre. But Aston Villa then just about to set off. Ken McNaugh's just boarded the bus. Ron Saunders is there with them as well. Saunders, the Villa manager, of course. The Villa players all dressed in suits, but I'm sure they're going to have overcoats on if they go on the top deck of the bus. And as I say, the cavalcade of cars now beginning to warm up, and they should be on their way any moment now. Also getting on board the bus there was Tony Morley. He himself has scored 12 goals this season for Villa, and he really has been a marvellous player on the wing, supplying the crosses and the ammunition for Peter Wiz to bullet home, and Shaw, of course, who himself has scored 20 goals. They're all on board the bus, and they're all on their way now to the Council House in Birmingham, and we'll see you there.
Thanks very much, Paul Franks.
Yes, and we'll see you there, Paul. Congratulations to the Villa from the Hudson family of Lichfield staffs. Mark of Rugby, Ken Richard and Jill Ward, and Wilfred Field of Kings Heath, Jason Hardware of Norton Kane, slipping an advert in there, never mind about the saucepans, Stanley Coots of 49 Derryton Road, Perry Park, and Robert Whittaker of Four Oaks.
Right, let's go over now and find out what's happening on the Villa procession to Paul Franks. Paul?
Thank you, Peter. Yes, we just passed Lancaster Circus, where the fire station is, and indeed all the fire engines are out in force with the sirens going round as if to say congratulations to Villa on this championship triumph. And the supporters now beginning to congregate and line the route. We had 200 or 300 around Lancaster Circus, and they're beginning to run after the procession of coaches and buses and other assorted vehicles that are on their way to the council buildings. And we're now beginning, as I say, to pick up the supporters en route. It was fairly quiet leaving Villa Park, having left the Serpentine car park. The Villa players did wave to a bunch of people who'd congregated on the 7th floor of a block of flats nearby. But apart from that, they were fairly scarcely populated. But now we're in the city itself. We're beginning to see the Villa supporters, and the Football League champions for 80-81 are now about 5-10 minutes away from the Council House in Birmingham.
Thanks very much to Paul Franks there reporting, keeping us in touch, and we'll be hearing from Tim Russon a little bit later on in the programme as well.
From the Council House. Congratulations to Villa from Mick and Kim from Tamworth. On behalf of the supporters who couldn't make it because they're either too ill or too old, that's a good thought. Bill Rogers, obviously known as Buck, he sends his congratulations. Beady. Hot dog, Bill, of Harbour. Mr. White of Sedgley, Richard and Andrew Smith, and Michael Robbins of Polesworth.
And the team bus now is just coming down Colmore Road. It's in our sight now, and the fans are lining the route all along Colmore Road. So it's thick with Aston Villa supporters. The police guiding the Villa team now along the route. They're just coming along Colmore Road, only 200 yards away from the council house. And the people below us can sense that the champions are nearly with us now. 100 yards, we can see the silver trophy on the top of the open deck bus. It comes towards the moment of glory for Aston Villa. A tremendous long season, the first time in 71 years. And any second now, Victoria Square will be lifted with cheers of thousands of people. Here they come now, Villa driving into the square. Is rushing forward, the scarves held high above the head. The glory of the Villa lives on, and Aston Villa have arrived at the council house. The players on top of the bus, the Union Jacks, the Villa scarves waving in the air. It's a cold, damp day, but down below us, thousands of Villa fans are now rejoicing with their team. Peter Witt there, handing the trophy round to Kenny Swain, and the silver trophy being waved in the sky. Ron Saunders, I don't think he's ever been smiling so much in his life. A big, broad grin. There's Ron Saunders now. He waves the league trophy towards the fans. All the players are on there. And Ron Saunders stands in the middle of the bus, holds the silver league trophy high above his head. Get the chairs in front of the council house. People now rushing along from the route, and you can see them all corners of this square, gradually, absolutely packing it now. They've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. They gradually come, the young children at the front, and when the Villa team coach pulled in front of the steps, they all rush forward. And the Villa fans jumping up and down. A few of the Villa players have got claret and blue scarves. They must have picked them up on the route. There's Gary Shaw there waving a banner over his head, and the Silver League trophy just being passed along the bus. Gary Shaw holds it aloft. The league trophy has now got the claret and blue colours of Aston Villa around the silver handles, and even the Lions here on the balcony at the council house have got Aston Villa scarves draped around them. Gary Shaw throws a Villa scarf out from the top of the bus into the crowd, and any second now the Villa players will begin to file off the coach, make their way up the glittering steps of the council house, and then they'll come here on the balcony. We'll have the speeches. Ron Saunders has promised to say a few words to supporters. It really is a bitterly cold day. The rain has stopped, the wind still driving down, but even so, nothing can stop the enjoyment of thousands of Villa supporters. The Villa players now making their way off the bus. Colin Gibson the claret and blue hat on. He whips off his head and throws it towards the crowd. And the Villa players now gradually coming off the bus. Even Brian Little, the man who was forced to quit the game through injury, he's also just on the top of the bus there now, just making his way down. Ron Saunders is coming off as well. One or two of the young reserves. Des Bremner is there. And there, once again, the cheers go up as that Silver League trophy is held high in the air once more. And the team gradually making its way up the steps. They'll be on this balcony in a few moments. And I should imagine the roar when the team come out on the balcony will be something quite incredible. Brian Little just stepping off the bus. Ron Saunders steps off the bus as well. Dennis Mortimer is there. So too is Nigel Spinks, the reserve goalkeeper. Eamon Deasy, been so on so many occasions. Roy McLaren, the coach, he's just getting off the bus now. One or two Villa players still on the top. Peter Widd, it looks as though he doesn't want to come down, savouring this moment, throwing scarves into the crowd. Ken McNaught is there. But now, Peter Widd trying to force his way off the coach. Great big giant teddy bear, a claret and blue teddy bear is there as well. And on the front of the bus, well done Villa. Well, the Villa team on its way up, the wind still driving down, really bitterly cold. The supporters getting their way over the barriers and gradually forcing their way towards the steps of the council house. Well, the Villa team should be on the balcony any second now. They're just, one or two of them are just congregating just outside. They should be on their way up. And we may well be forced off the balcony because we've been told only 15 people at once can be on the balcony. Well, there must be about 50 people on here at the moment, so goodness knows what's going to happen when the Villa team come out. Traditional song being sung in the council square, You'll Never Walk Alone, a song of course made famous by the famous Liverpool that have won the championship for the past 2 years, but now of course the championship is Aston Villa's, and the Villa team now are in the reception room just below us on the balcony. In a few seconds time they'll be coming up the balcony steps and waving towards the crowd. They've just been given a warm round of applause by the people in the reception room. The champagne is overflowing from the glasses, and in a few seconds time we expect to see Villa step out onto the balcony, and then they will give a tremendous cheer from their supporters. They're of course 7 times now the Football League champions. The last time was back in 1910, a glittering history really. They won the double, the championship coming in 1894, 1896, 1897, 1899, 1900 and the last time in 1910, so 7 championship victories. They won a record 7 FA Cups in 1887, 1895, that double in 1897, then again in 1905 and 1913, 1920 and 1957, and the Football League Cup a record 3 times. And really, when you look at those achievements, when you look at the honours that Villa have won, it gives you some idea of why the people of Birmingham are celebrating today. It's been a long, long time since they've been able to greet the champions, and in they've had to wait for success. The last real success for Aston Villa was 1957, and Villa are now coming out led by the Lord Mayor, Councillor Joseph Bailey. Ron Saunders is at the top of the queue. I can see Colin Gibson just in there as well. The Master of Ceremonies just waiting for Villa to come out, but the Villa players just having a few glasses of champagne. I'm sure the celebrations which started last night will go on for a few days yet. Villa of course will be flying out for their end of season tour on Thursday, but I'm sure things really beginning to come to the boil. Dennis Mortimer I can see just inside the reception room. We're hoping of course to talk to the Villa players when they come off the balcony. And still the council officials trying to get the Villa onto the balcony. Here they come now, led by Dennis Mortimer. A claret and blue scarf around his neck, but he goes inside once again. And Dennis Mortimer, a keen photographer himself, has even brought his own camera with him, so he'll be taking a few snaps for his album. Once more the roar, won the league, won the league, won the league.
And the team is being presented to the Lord Mayor, and
the Villa team
out onto the balcony.
You probably heard that announcement, the team now just being presented to the Lord Mayor, and then they'll be coming out on the balcony, and the people still below us waiting very, very patiently indeed. It's been a long, long wait for them. Bring on the champions. Well, we're still trying to wait for the team coming out. In fact, I think they now could well be on their way. The council officials trying to usher them out, but Villa enjoying their moments of success. You see the Villa manager Ron Saunders in there signing autographs, and the reception room at the back of the balcony of the council house absolutely full to overflowing with people wanting to shake everybody's hand and slap them on the back and acclaim the new league champions. But Villa still enjoying themselves. I should think now the crowd has filled to something like 15 to 20,000, probably about 15,000 I should think at the moment, because the people that have obviously been watching the team along the route, they've now come to the council house and waiting to greet their team. The balcony at the moment full with photographers and television cameras, because it's a great occasion for the city of Birmingham, also for Aston Villa, and a great day for Midland soccer, because in so many years the soccer scene has been dominated by the Liverpools and the Leeds Uniteds, the Manchester Uniteds. Aston Villa have had a long, long wait for their league glory. Saunders, give us a song. That's the latest chant out there. Well, we're still trying to get the Villa team on the balcony. They're still having a sip at the glasses of champagne. I can also see in there Graham Kelly, who's the secretary of the Football League. League Championship trophy being passed around there. The Lord Mayor held it above his head just a few seconds ago. Obviously he's enjoying himself in there as well. And the crowd still waiting very, very patiently indeed. The players at the moment still filing into that reception room. Alan Evans is there, I can see as well. He's just having a chat with one or two supporters. Gary Shaw busily signing autographs, and the council officials scurrying around trying to persuade the team to come on the balcony. So I'm sure quite a few people down there must be bitterly cold indeed. Been waiting many, many hours for this occasion. All season the tension is building up. Could Villa win the title? Been a battle all year with Ipswich Town. And of course yesterday with Ipswich losing at Middlesbrough, the championship came to Villa Park. And still the Villa players just having a glass of champagne, chatting with the supporters. We're hoping to try and get one or two Villa players to the microphone in just a few moments. The crowd growing a bit impatient actually outside. Come on Villa, they're trying to coax out the team. But the team at the moment, they're all split up inside the reception room, all four corners of the room. Well, it could still be a few minutes, in fact, before we get the team out. We're still trying to get them out onto the balcony. Ron Saunders has disappeared somewhere. I'm not quite sure where he's gone. He's gone to the front of the room, and the rest of the other team seem to be split up. But in a few moments' time, we should be having a word, I think, with Tony Morley, the Aston Villa winger, because Paul Franks has joined us up on the balcony, just inside the balcony. And in fact,
if I could just butt in for a second, Tim, because I'm in the town hall, the council building reception area here. The player's just about to go on the balcony, but with me is the Villa winger Tony Morley. Tony, a marvellous season for you.
great season. Like, you know, I think the lads were a bit disappointed today that we didn't put our best performance on. But overall, I think we've proved like we've been the best side this year. Like at the beginning of the season, it's the first season the team's been really together. Like, you know, I think the lads would have been happy like to finish in the top 4 or 5, probably won one of cup competitions. But I think like we started off the beginning of the season, we give a few silly points away, like, and in the end, like it was sort of like it went to the very last game of the season. But I think if the lads would have known how good they were at the beginning of the season, I think we would have had about 3 or 4 points in hand. No problem, like, you know. But then again, it's great. Like the support out here is tremendous, really. Like, you know, so I'm made up, like, you know.
What about the celebrations last night? How did they go?
I can't remember. No, but coming home on a coach, where the lads had a few beers, like, you know. There was a do one in one of the clubs in town for a few of the lads. So, but there's only about 3 or 4 when we went out. The rest just split up, went on with the wives and that, like, you know. So they'll probably start celebrating now from today, like, really.
What about the form yourself this season, Tony? I mean, you've been playing on the wing for Villa. Yeah. I think last season you took a little bit of time to settle down.
Oh, yeah, well, I got in the side last year and then I got out. But I had a bad knee all last year, which I knew myself that I was going to have to have an operation on it. Like, really, I think that was the main thing. That was to held me back, like, you know. But this season everything's gone really well, like, you know. I was hoping that I might get in the international setup, you know. Just keep my fingers crossed, like, really.
Well, that's right. I mean, there has been talk of Peter Wisby.
Well, he should be the best centre forward in the country. He's proved it overall. Like, he's the best centre forward, like, without a doubt. That's what England need, and he's the man for them, like, you know.
And there's nobody better supplying the crosses to him. Obviously, you know how he plays, and therefore.
Well, it'd be nice. If I think Peter's more or less certain to get in the home internationals. It'd be nice if I could just get on there with him, like, no, I've been made. That would have ended a great season for us.
Tony, thanks for talking to us.
Okay,
and enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tim.
Well, thanks, Paul, and the Villa players are still split up inside that reception room. Obviously, they're reluctant to come out just for a few moments. They're still busily signing autographs and still having their glass of champagne, the League Championship trophy, just a few inches away from us now. And all the Villa officials still, I think, probably having their first glass of champagne, although the Villa gradually coming towards the balcony, and we should see them out on the balcony in a few moments' time. Paul Franks there trying to work his way through the crowd because the reception room now absolutely full to overflowing, and quite a few of them, of course, are sporting the colours. There seems now to be a move towards the balcony. 1 or 2 players beginning to come out, and we're hoping to see them out. In fact, yes, they should be coming out any second now. Dennis Mortimer is still below there, and hopefully we may now be going back to Paul Franks, because he's got Dennis Mortimer there. Here comes the Lord Mayor, Council Bailey. He's coming out now.
Here they come. They just have the queue. They're on the way.
Well, you can hear the tremendous roar, because here Aston Villa come now, and the sky's beginning to brighten. Ron Saunders leading his team out any second. Dennis Mortimer, Gary Shaw there as well. And the team just gradually now congregating at the bottom of the steps. And quite incredible, really. We've had a terrible morning here at the Council House weather-wise. The rain driving down since about 8 o'clock onwards. A very cold, strong, biting wind. But just as Villa approach their moment of glory, they come out to greet the fans. The weather has cleared up. The sky is beginning to open. So there must be justice somewhere. And of course, it's a moment, I'm sure, when everybody will remember the Saturday, the weekend, when Aston Villa won the League Championship. The Lord Mayor just, I think, checking his feet. Well, we should be away in a few seconds now, because Ron Saunders waving to his players, just casually pulling towards the bottom step. Jimmy Rimmer there. Well, here we go now, because Aston Villa are on their way out on the balcony. The Lord Mayor just passing me now. Councillor Joseph Bailey, accompanied by the Lady Mayoress. Here come Villa. The league trophy high on the balcony above the Victoria Square, being paraded by the Aston Villa players, many of them bottles of champagne in their hand and squirting the champagne over the crowd. The trophy now being hosted around by the Villa players. Alan Evans waves the trophy in the air. My word, that trophy has seen some many great teams, many great occasions. Kenny Swain waves the trophy towards the crowd. In a few moments' time we should have the speeches. Gary Shaw, all the Villa team now are on the balcony, and the council's rules of only having 15 people on the balcony have rather gone astray, because by my calculations there must be about, what, 100, 150 people on that balcony. And below us in Victoria Square, a mass of claret and blue, the banners, the scarves, the hats.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you please just to stay quiet just for a moment? Could I just quiet just for a moment, please? All right, just one moment.
And I think that the Master of Ceremonies is really fighting a losing battle, asking a crowd so excited, so filled with enjoyment, to keep quiet. An impossible task.
All right, okay, fine, thank you. Right, quiet please. Quiet please.
And now we're going to have silence, so we should have a few speeches now. Ron Saunders is near the microphone. Here's Ron Saunders.
Mr. Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor first.
If you will be just quiet for 2 minutes after the Lord Mayor has said a few words, I will smile for you.
And that's one of the biggest cheers of the morning so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Lord Mayor of Birmingham, Councillor Joseph Bailey, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very proud moment in our famous city. Aston Villa, one of our well-known and well-loved teams, are champions of the First Division. The whole city rejoices and is proud to honor them on this day. The fact that thousands of you have turned up this morning proves how popular this achievement by our team is. On behalf of our city, I congratulate the team and all those connected with it. Now, let us give 3 cheers. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Saunders.
Here's the Villa manager, Ron Saunders now.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait for it.
I will smile last. The reception you've given us today is probably the best that, in my opinion, there ever has been throughout the country. It matches the support that you give us week after week, so we're not surprised. But next season is going to be another very hard season. We're going to be into Europe. And I know that not only will you support us the same as you've done this season, but you will continue to go on all over the world, setting a wonderful example to other supporters. Now, are you ready?
And that massive cheer was the famous Ron Saunders smile. Well, he's been promising for many, many months. He'd given us a smile if they won the league championship. And that smile, a broadest grin as you'll ever get. Ron Saunders usually, to the public, a hard-doer man, but to his players, a warm, quite a friendly chap. And he certainly enjoyed himself this weekend. The Villa players taken in turn to hold the trophy aloft. I don't know if we're going to get any more speeches, but I'm sure probably now the Villa players rather will come back inside, although they're enjoying themselves at the moment, looking down on a sea of faces. And they'll probably come back inside because it's a bit cool out there. Kenny Swain coming off the balcony at the moment. We may just get a quick chat with Kenny Swain, just have a quick word with you. Tremendous occasion, tremendous scene.
Yeah, everybody's overwhelmed. I'm sure I amplify everybody's feelings here today. And I say it's probably the greatest days of their lives so far. Hopefully we can do something a bit better next season.
You had a great weekend. Were you expecting a reception like this?
We were expecting a reception, but nothing of this magnitude now.
Because really it's been a fiddly cold day. It's a very cold up here on the balcony. They're still standing there cheering and waving.
I'm sure so long as we stand here, they'll be here all day.
How long are you going to stand on the balcony for now, do you think?
I don't know, we're not in charge of that. We're just paid to win leagues.
Ken, thanks very much indeed. Kenny Swain, many congratulations. And we'll try and talk to the Villa players as they come off the balcony now, because we're just standing alongside the balcony, and we'll just try and get a quick word with the Villa players as they file back. And they'll probably go back inside, have a few more glasses of champagne, and then once again I'm sure they'll come out to the roar of the crowd, because the crowd will will them out here again.
It's been a wonderful day for them yesterday, not the result but the day, and obviously today they're making up for it. Tremendous.
And it's a proud day for Aston Villa, a proud day for Ron Saunders. Would you say this is the greatest day in your life, Ron?
Oh no, you have many great days in your life. You must never tempt Providence either. But this is a great day. It's a great event.
And the Villa fans have done you proud.
Oh yeah, they always do.
Ron, thank you very much indeed. Ron Saunders there, the Villa manager. And now standing alongside him is Dennis Morton, the Villa skipper. The two of them posing for photographs. And these two men have really been the strength behind the Villa drive to the championship. Dennis Morton, a tremendous loyal skipper, a man who always gives his all. And Ron Saunders, a manager who may have his critics, but you have to admire the way that he's taken this team, because when he came to Villa Park 6-7 years ago, they were in the second division. The old glory, the old tradition was tarnished a bit, but since then he's really put them back on the road. And the Villa players now conducting the crowd below them. And Villa players gradually will be filing their way back into the reception room. The chairman, Tom Bendel, just leaving the balcony now. And you can obviously see the Villa players enjoying their moment of success. It's been a long season. They always say that the Football League trophy, the league championship, is the hardest trophy of all to win. 42 games, 60 points Villa have amassed. And now this is the time when they can sit back on the season, look back at the victories, some of the disappointing moments, the defeat at Middlesbrough, the defeat at Spurs. This is a good moment. This is when they can enjoy the success with their supporters. There's no stopping the Villa supporters. Here comes the chorus. You'll never walk alone. One almost have a word for the crowd, because they've really been tremendously well behaved this afternoon. They've been very, very patient indeed, standing down there in this biting cold wind, but many of them took up their places at 8 o'clock to make sure of their superb view of the council celebration. They've been very, very good indeed. They were urged by the police. The team still on the balcony, still enjoying the crowd, the shout and wave. Villa manager Ron Saunders has now gone inside, but the Villa players still very much on the balcony. And the league trophy still being paraded around the separate players, each player taking it a turn to hold the trophy aloft. Sure, for many of these players, because the one thing about the Aston Villa team, well, I think the council planned to only having 15 people on the balcony have now gone rather askew, because we're absolutely chock-a-block on the balcony at the moment. There must be, some 100, 150 people on, and they're only asking for 15, but they're really fighting a losing battle, because everybody wants to come out and join in the celebrations and receive the applause and receive the celebrations. The crowd was calling there for Brian Little. I think Brian Little just coming out now. Peter, just have a quick word with you. Tremendous day.
Oh yes, I think it's a tremendous day. I think that people have turned out in the thousands to see us, and it's celebrations all round, really.
And you've got the league trophy there as well.
Well, there's a few people on the other side who haven't seen it, so I'm just going to show it to them as well.
Peter, thanks very much indeed. And there's the league trophy. Peter Wood there. It's had a few bumps and dents over the years. It's been paraded round by separate clubs. And Peter Wood fights his way through the crowd. Brian Little just coming in front of us. Brian Little had a bit of an unfortunate season, but still a very popular man with the crowd. Here comes Brian Little now. He'll receive a special warm reception, I'm sure. Forced to quit through a knee injury just a couple of months ago, but he as much as anybody else. For Brian Little, just about moving into tears, because Brian Little, so much of the Villa success story, of course, hasn't taken part this season because of that knee injury. Forced to quit the game. But it's nice to see him here today, enjoying with all the other Villa players the success and all the tradition and all the colour and noise and excitement that goes with winning the league championship trophy. Just really wonder how long this crowd is going to stay here, because I think since we've been on the balcony, I don't think I've seen one person leave the crowd or go away from the edges. In fact, they still seem to be coming all the time, joining the crowd getting thicker and thicker, and nobody wants to leave the square. The players obviously don't want to leave the balcony. Some shouts there. I thought we were going to have a few more speeches, but Peter Weir takes his place back back on the balcony. Alan Evans is there as well. All the Villa players now still on the balcony, all waving and cheering. And they've always said, of course, the support for the Villa has been one of the best in the country. When you cast your thoughts back to the third division days, those dark days when there were crowds of 30,000, 35,000 at Villa Park watching third division football. Obviously the noise and the celebrations will go on for a long time here at the Victoria Square. We've heard from the Villa manager, Ron Saunders. We've heard from the Villa players, and they're still on the balcony now, receiving the applause, receiving the claims and shouts of the Villa crowd. The scarves of claret and blue amassed in Victoria Square. A young lad down there standing on the shoulders of somebody else. His hair dyed claret and blue. All the scarves being whirled around the heads of the supporters. A tremendous sight. What a great day for the city of Birmingham. An even better day for Aston Villa Football Club. League champions for the first time in 71 years. The crowd noise are dying down a bit, and I'm sure you've enjoyed these celebrations. Incredible jubilation from the Villa fans. So a great occasion here on the balcony at the Council House. We may be back later for some more news, some more interviews with the players, but for now let's go back to the studio.
Victory in Victoria Square for Villa. That all seems to fit together very nicely, and Tim Russon and Paul Franks bringing you that scene here on 206. I'm just rather glad that balcony held up.
Oh.